Tokyo, 1972. A young Honda engineer stares at a blank sheet of paper. Oil prices have just quadrupled overnight. Gas stations have mile-long queues. People are panicking. The American auto industry is in chaos, and this 27-year-old engineer has been given an impossible task. Design a small car that can save Honda from bankruptcy, revolutionize the automobile industry, and somehow make people fall in love with economy cars. He has 6 months. His boss tells him, if we fail, Honda dies. If we succeed, we change the world. That engineer created something nobody expected. Not just a car, but a phenomenon that would sell over 27 million units, become the best-selling car in America for years, and earn a cult following so passionate that people tattoo its logo on their bodies. This is the story of how a tiny Japanese economy car became Asia's most beloved automobile and changed what the world thinks a car should be. The year is 1972, and Honda is desperate. They're known for motorcycles, not cars. Their first car, the N600, was a commercial failure in America. Dealerships are threatening to drop the Honda brand entirely. The company is bleeding money. But Honda's founder, Soichiro Honda, refuses to give up. He believes in a philosophy: build cars for people, not for profit. While American manufacturers are creating massive gas-guzzling sedans, Honda sees an opportunity. The world is changing. The 1973 oil crisis is coming, though nobody knows it yet. Young people want something different. They don't want their father's Cadillac. They want independence, affordability, and fun. Honda decides to bet everything on one car. The project begins in secret. The team is small, mostly young engineers fresh out of university. They're given a mission that seems contradictory. Create a car that's cheap but doesn't feel cheap, small but spacious, economical but fun to drive, simple but sophisticated. The lead designer, Hiroshi Kizawa, becomes obsessed. He studies how people actually use cars. He visits parking lots and watches families struggle with luggage. He talks to young couples about their first car dreams. He learns something crucial. People don't just want transportation. They want emotion. They want to feel something when they turn the key. The first challenge is the engine. Honda has a reputation for brilliant engines from their motorcycle division, but car engines are different. They need an engine that's fuel efficient, powerful enough for highway driving, produces minimal emissions, and costs almost nothing to manufacture. It's an engineering nightmare. The team works 18-hour days. They test hundreds of configurations. They fail again and again. Then, a breakthrough. They develop a new combustion technology called CVCC, Compound Vortex Controlled Combustion. It's revolutionary. This engine can meet strict emission standards without a catalytic converter, making it cheaper and more reliable than anything Detroit is producing. They've cracked the code. Next comes the design. While American cars are getting bigger and more angular, Honda goes the opposite direction. They create something compact with clean, simple lines. No unnecessary chrome, no fake luxury, just honest, functional beauty. The interior is where they really innovate. They invent a concept they call man maximum, machine minimum. Every inch of space is designed for people, not machinery. They push the engine forward, create a flat floor, design seats that fold in ways nobody has seen before. Suddenly, this tiny car has more usable space than sedans twice its size. It's automotive magic. July 1972. The Honda Civic is revealed to the world. It's small, boxy, and costs less than most people expect. Automotive journalists are skeptical. This little Japanese car competing against established American and European brands? Impossible. But Honda knows something the critics don't. They've driven this car. They know how it feels, how it responds to the steering wheel, how the engine revs smoothly to redline, how it corners with precision that luxury cars can't match. The Civic isn't just economical, it's genuinely fun. Then, October 1973, everything changes. The oil crisis hits. Gasoline prices quadruple. Americans are waiting in 4-hour lines for rationed fuel. Suddenly, everyone wants a fuel-efficient car, and the Honda Civic, getting 40 miles per gallon, is the answer they've been waiting for. Dealerships are flooded with orders. Honda can't manufacture them fast enough. The little car that was supposed to save Honda doesn't just save the company, it transforms it into a global powerhouse. But this is just the beginning of the story. The Civic arrives in America at exactly the right moment, but it faces enormous prejudice. Japanese cars are cheap junk is the common belief. They're seen as disposable, poorly made, unsafe. Honda has to prove everyone wrong, and they do it through something revolutionary: quality. Every Civic that rolls off the assembly line is built with obsessive precision. Honda workers are empowered to stop production if they spot any defect. It's unheard of in the automotive world. The result? Civics simply don't break down. A car that was supposed to be a cheap runabout becomes known for lasting 200,000, 300,000, even 400,000 miles with basic maintenance. People start telling stories. A college student buys a used Civic for $500, drives it through 4 years of school, and sells it for $400. A taxi driver in Singapore racks up 600,000 miles on his Civic. These stories spread. The Civic isn't just reliable, it's legendary.
But Honda doesn't rest. They know that if they stop innovating, competitors will catch up. So in 1975, they do something unexpected. They release the Civic CVCC, the first car to meet strict EPA emission standards without a catalytic converter. Environmentalists celebrate. Then comes the Civic hatchback with folding rear seats that create a flat cargo floor. Suddenly, you can move furniture in this tiny car. College students love it. Young families discover they don't need a station wagon. The Civic becomes the Swiss Army knife of automobiles. The 1980s bring a new generation. The third-generation Civic, launched in 1983, is a complete reimagining. It's more aerodynamic, more refined, more grown up. But Honda makes a crucial decision: keep it fun. They introduce the Civic CRX, a lightweight two-seater that becomes a legend in its own right. Racing enthusiasts discover these little Hondas can be modified easily and perform brilliantly on track. A tuning culture begins to emerge. People aren't just buying Civics for transportation, they're buying them for passion. Then, 1988, Honda drops a bombshell. They announce the Civic SIR in Japan, with 1.6-liter engine producing 160 horsepower. In a car weighing barely 2,000 pounds, this is explosive. The engine revs to 8,000 RPM, screaming like a race car. This isn't an economy car anymore. This is a performance machine that embarrasses sports cars costing 3 times as much. Honda has proven something revolutionary. Affordable doesn't mean boring. The VTEC engine technology they introduce becomes legendary. It's an engine that changes personality. Below 5,500 RPM, it's docile and efficient. Above that, a second cam profile engages, and suddenly you're driving a race car. Drivers become addicted to that VTEC crossover point, that moment when the engine note changes and acceleration pushes you back in your seat. The 1990s are the Civic's golden age. The 5th and 6th generations become cultural icons. In America, the Civic is the best-selling car. In Asia, it's a status symbol. In Europe, it's respected for its engineering. But something else is happening. A whole culture emerges around Civic modification. Young people are buying used Civics and transforming them. Engine swaps, turbochargers, custom body kits, wild paint schemes. The tuner culture explodes, and the Civic is at its center. Movies like The Fast and the Furious feature modified Civics prominently. What started as a practical economy car has become a canvas for automotive expression. In Asia, the Civic story is particularly special. In countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and the Philippines, the Civic isn't just a car, it's an aspiration. Owning a Civic means you've made it. It's reliable enough for daily tropical humidity and monsoons, efficient enough for expensive gasoline, and prestigious enough to be proud of. Generations of Asian families have their first road trip memories in a Civic. Their first teenage romance involves a Civic. Their first job celebration includes finally affording a Civic. The car becomes woven into the fabric of Asian middle-class life. In Japan, the Civic Type R emerges as the ultimate evolution. It's everything the Civic promised, refined to perfection. A naturally aspirated engine that revs to 9,000 RPM. A 6-speed manual transmission with one of the most satisfying shifters ever created. Handling that rivals purpose-built sports cars. And it's still practical enough for grocery shopping. Honda proves you don't have to choose between sensible and exciting. The Type R becomes a collector's item while still being a usable daily driver. People wait years to buy one. They become investment pieces, actually appreciating in value rather than depreciating like normal cars. But the Civic story isn't without challenges. The 2000s bring criticism. The 8th and 9th generations are seen as losing the plot. They're criticized for becoming too large, too soft, less engaging to drive. Honda seems to have forgotten what made the Civic special. Sales decline, enthusiasts complain. The Civic is at risk of becoming just another appliance on wheels. Honda faces a crisis of identity. Have they lost the spirit of that original 1972 car?
Then, 2016. Honda remembers who they are. The 10th generation Civic is a revelation. It's stunning to look at, exciting to drive, practical to live with. The turbocharged engine provides modern efficiency with genuine performance. The interior is thoughtfully designed with premium materials. The handling is sharp and engaging again. Critics rave. Customers flood dealerships. The Civic is back. But more than that, it has evolved. It's everything the original was. Practical, reliable, fun. But now it's also sophisticated, refined, premium. Honda has achieved the impossible. They've kept the Civic's soul while meeting modern expectations. The Type R returns to global markets in 2017, and it's sensational. It breaks lap records at famous racetracks while remaining completely street legal and comfortable. Automotive journalists call it one of the greatest front-wheel drive cars ever made. Young enthusiasts dream about it. Established collectors buy them as future classics. The Civic has come full circle, from economy car to performance legend. Today, as we enter the era of electric vehicles and autonomous driving, the Civic faces its biggest transformation yet. Honda has announced that future Civics will be electrified. Some enthusiasts worry, will the Civic lose its character? Will electric motors replace that screaming VTEC engine? But if history teaches us anything, it's that Honda knows how to evolve while keeping the spirit alive. The Civic has survived oil crises, economic recessions, changing tastes, and intense competition. It has thrived for over 50 years because it never forgets its core mission: be a car for people, not for profit. The Civic's success isn't about specifications or features, it's about trust. When you buy a Civic, you're not just buying metal and machinery, you're buying into a legacy of reliability. You're getting a vehicle that will start every morning, that won't bankrupt you in repairs, that will hold its value. But you're also getting something more. You're getting a car that respects you as a driver, that gives you feedback through the steering wheel, that rewards smooth shifting and good driving technique, that makes even a trip to the grocery store feel like a small adventure. Across Asia, from the crowded streets of Manila to the highways of Malaysia, from Bangkok's traffic to Tokyo's expressways, millions of Civics continue their daily journeys. Each one carries its own story. The taxi driver who's put 500,000 miles on his 7th-generation sedan. The grandmother who's owned the same Civic for 20 years and refuses to replace it. The teenager who saved for 3 years to buy a used SI model. The young professional whose Civic is their first major purchase of their adult life. These aren't just transactions, these are relationships. The Honda Civic succeeded where countless other cars failed because Honda understood something fundamental about human nature. We don't just want reliable transportation, we want to feel proud of what we drive. We want our car to reflect our values. Practicality, yes, but also a touch of joy, a hint of personality, a sense that we made a smart choice. The Civic delivers all of this in a package that doesn't demand wealth or sacrifice. It's democratic excellence. It's engineering with a soul. So the next time you see a Civic on the road, whether it's a pristine Type R, a modified tuner car with a massive wing, a 20-year-old sedan still running perfectly, or a brand new model fresh from the dealership, remember you're looking at more than a car. You're seeing 5 decades of engineering evolution. You're witnessing the result of that young engineer's impossible mission in 1972. You're observing a vehicle that proved affordable cars don't have to be boring, that practical can be passionate, that economy can be exciting. The Honda Civic didn't just become Asia's most loved car by accident. It earned that title, one satisfied owner at a time, one reliable mile at a time, one generation at a time. And as it evolves into its electric future, carrying forward the spirit of that original 1972 vision, the Civic reminds us that the greatest innovations aren't always about being the fastest or the most luxurious. Sometimes the greatest innovation is simply being exactly what people need, delivered with genuine care and respect. That's not just good business, that's automotive immortality.